that had issues, and he had issues that he had to deal with in his real life on top of the issues that he had to deal with being Spider-Man. Right. And that was the first inkling that I had that there was depth to the world, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, people tell stories to I mean, that's what mythologies are. Uh-huh. You know, that's what, you know, religious stories are. They're a way for you to understand or to put into context what, you know, you might be going through.
Right.
And sometimes the fact that it's not real makes it more accessible to that person. I think it can do more for you therapeutically.
Yeah.
If you know that it's not real. You know?
Yeah. My niece said to me, what did she say? She said, I don't believe in Santa Claus or something like that. And I was like, you can't say that you don't believe in Santa Claus. Santa Claus exists. He's had more impact on more lives on this planet than anybody else.
It's like the Imagination Land.
He exists.
Episode of South Park.
He's real, right?
Where they're discussing they're arguing whether or not the imaginary characters are real or not, and they come to the conclusion that they are.
I come to the conclusion that it doesn't matter.
Based on how you define
what's
real.
Right, because everybody understands the idea of Santa Claus.
I'm going to flip the record.
Yeah, so, you know, I mean, I think that fiction and storytelling and comic, I hate to say comic books because it's not really, and graphic novel isn't really a great...
It's okay to say comics. Comics is a fine word. It defines the medium. I think that it's outgrown the word.
Yeah.
This is a whole other conversation.
I think that we have to redefine what we understand as comics. First of all, because this newspaper is disappearing.
Right.
So we haven't got your Sunday...
And comics aren't always funny, which is where the word comics comes from.
Right.
But I think that most comic book artists are... I think it's more acceptable to say comics than it is graphic novel.
Really?
I always thought that graphic novel meant it was bloody. Mm-hmm. That was my mental interpretation of it, and I was like, sweet.
Because it had graphic content.
Alan Moore talks extensively about the term graphic novel, and his views on it are not positive.
Huh.
He would rather, well, I'm not going to speak for Alan Moore, but...
Right. But the idea of presenting, I mean, comics are so much easier to consume than just straight writing in my mind, because so much can be delivered in the visuals.
You know, I had lunch with my friend earlier today, and we were talking about comics as a delivery system.
Yeah.
And there's a certain amount of and you can say this with any kind of medium, but there's a certain amount of experience required to understand a comic, to know how to read, you know, to go from left to right, you know, and you can say that from, you know, almost any, you know,
right.
You need to have a certain amount of experience.
A lot of stuff that we just take for granted.
Right, even in movies, you know, or like a simple cut, you know, you need to have need to bring to the table a certain amount of know-how, a certain amount of experience. And there are people that I bring, not just my comics, but my artwork to, that don't know what they're looking at. Like, you know, like seeing a UFO or seeing like some kind of technology you've never seen before. Like, sometimes there's just kind of this, well, I know because people ask, so what am I looking at here?
Right.
And to me, it's very obvious, you know, like, you know, this is a joy, like, sometimes I don't even know how to answer that question.
Right.
Like,
my mom has a certain way of delivering that question.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah. What does that mean?
What is that?
That must mean...
That's exactly how she does it.
That must mean something.
I love my mom.
Yeah.
I just, from people who look at my paintings, not so much my photography, of my paintings, they'll just be like this look about like, why would you paint something like that? Yeah. Like, what the fuck were you thinking?
I like,
and I'm like, my whole thing is, that reaction is what I was going for.
Exactly.
I wanted your face to look like that.
There was a time.
I like when somebody's going through my work and they're like, oh, that's me. That's you. That's my Uncle Eddie. Oh, yeah. Yep. And for some reason, like, this is a really common reaction to my work. Like, they're like pointing out, they want to like, oh, that's definitely my cousin. My cousin.
See, I think that would be the most fascinating thing about having like comic characters. Calvin and Hobbes is my favorite. And these, you know, they're such recognizable characters, and you see one and you almost fill in the blanks. All you have to do is see him on the page, and you already know that Calvin is a little smartass that's thinking way ahead of his time, you know. And then Hobbes is like
his imaginary friend.
What the fuck ever, you know? Yeah, but he's got a character, right? He's like, what are you getting all worked up about? Usually, that's his deal, right?
Yeah,
But you think that you see him and you automatically know these are these people, right?
Do you think that Hobbes was like a second personality to Calvin?
Well, I think that Hobbes was introduced as a. I think Hobbes was introduced as a contrast. Like,
right.
Like the author came up with this Calvin character. And he is quite a character, right? And then how do I juxtapose this character against something else in order to highlight how wonderful this character is? And his imaginary tiger was the perfect juxtaposition. And if you think about the personality of the tiger, he's not flamboyant. He's not big. He doesn't call a lot of attention to himself. Right. A lot of times it's like,
he's just there.
Dude, you need to relax, you know?
He is the voice of reason most of the time.
So it's really kind of amazing how but now that we understand them and we've seen them for so many years, all they have to do is show up. You know, Calvin, all he has to do is piss. And we all understand exactly what's going on, right?
I'll be right back.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I'll be right back. Smallest bladder in the world for the loss.
Yeah, he does. He claims the smallest bladder in the world. Does anybody want to challenge him?
I don't challenge anybody.
This is what you get for no editing, folks. Right here.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, man, I love your artwork, and I love what you've done here.
You've already seen that. Check. This is the last one. I've got some.
Is this the most recent?
No, that's actually the oldest.
Oh, really?
That's what you would call a portfolio.
Oh, okay. All right. On a big screen, it'll look better. Wow.
These were from a series of a show I did called P.S. I Love You. They were all Valentines.
This has to do with the book, this one.
Yeah.
The Pug God.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So for
this is a poster.
Yeah. So I should probably sit here. So for Sundries issue 1, each panel was done on a little card. I was going around to different vocational sites that worked with people with disabilities, and so I was on the move a lot, and I wanted to make this comic, so I just carried a stack of cards that I had cut, and I just painted each panel of the comic on each card, and then put it together to make that comic. So when I did the show, Sundries,
this shit's really fucking bizarre, man.
And this is like these look like these look like posters, concert posters, or something along those lines. Like, this guy can seriously put together some unique shit. I mean, are these concert posters? What are they?
They're posters for art shows.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, okay. Brooklyn Art
Art
Space
Space.
presents. I mean,
So this
So
is
cool.
you making
Look at
posters
this.
for galleries for your art.
no, for the Brooklyn Art Space ones, those were posters for art shows that I put on for the vocational site that I worked at.
Okay.
So the artwork was by people with disabilities, but they all had a theme. So every Christmas we would have like a holiday one. That one that you saw before, that was for face. This one, value. I went out with adults with disabilities and we found objects. And then, so I was just kind of trying to introduce them to the ready-made. These are P.S. I Love You. So I did a series of Valentine's
this
Day
is really.
cards.
Look at that thing right there. That
Wow.
is
Each
really
piece had a
beautiful.
black and white kind of genderless couple in them.
Okay.
Oh, neat.
Not so genderless there, but
Yeah.
I mean, I could wear a dress,
yeah.
and I've got long hair.
No, the dress
You
is
saw
the
that
killer. Yeah.
What is this?
Did I flip it over? Is that what I did?
Oh yeah.
I flipped it over. That's what I did. Yep, that's what I did.
So any of the posters that say Brooklyn Art Space were for the vocational site, and yeah, this was the first show that I did.
I mean, every single one of these is really beautiful.
It was
I
a
mean,
really
he's
great
done
job.
a lot of work.
It was a great job. It was a great experience, but it didn't pay
Yeah.
enough.
What is this?
A series of sculptures I did. That's very old work.
Wow.
Dude, he's a sculptor too, and it will come back because you can't get away from it.
Wow.
Yeah, this has just gotten a lot huger. This is a sculpture that he made. Do you have any of these, or did you?
These are really old. Most of them are broken up. That was for PNCA. It was part of a Judy Chicago piece.
porcelain or clay. It's a sculpture. I really
What
like this.
What are
This is
these?
interesting.
Like-
They're nondescript.
It's Sculpey that I formed and walked around town and placed them in environments. I took a picture of them and then I left them there,
You mess with Sculpey.
and I kept going back.
I've got shitloads of sculpting
Yeah,
sculptures.
he sure does.
Yeah, I got tons. This guy's a very impressive artist.
All right. So we're almost to 45 minutes. We're at 43 minutes. Let's wrap up.
All right.
Do you have any last thoughts that you want to say?
My name's Chris Knox.
Facebook.
Find him on Facebook, Christopher Knox.
If you're interested in any of his stuff, I'm telling you, these
Oh,
I
wanna
are
Get a
really
fucking comic book from
valuable.
him.
For $6? Are you serious? $10 would be well worth it. $20. $20 would be well worth it.
I want to do a shout out to Jeffrey Howard, who's my artist rep. He's a great guy.
Yeah, Jeffrey Howard, we're going to be
I'm
talking
a
to
friend with
you.
Jeffrey Howard.
Oh, are you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
He gave
and
you about
I.
50 more artists to do interviews with, no doubt.
I want to.
I'm sure
I want to interview Jeffrey. I'll get a hold of him.
Yeah, but I mean, this has been a very good interview for us for that. I mean, that reason alone,
Yeah.
but the interview is great.
It's awesome.
All right,
Christopher Knox.
This
He's
is the Art
amazing.
Life video blog, day 38.
You guys
Please
are really impressive. That's awesome.
like us, love us, find us,
Dude,
subscribe to our
he's awesome.
YouTube, This is the end. We love you. Peace out.
Love you.